You've been carrying something, a weight that has no name, a feeling that wraps around your ribs when you're alone. When the world goes quiet, when there's nothing left to distract you from what you know, they told you to let go. They said you were holding on to nothing, but you couldn't shake it because it wasn't nothing. It was everything. A truth so real it lived in your body before it ever touched your mind. And now, after all this time, after all the doubt, after all the nights you questioned your own heart, something is shifting. Not someday, not eventually days. Only days remain before what you've been feeling breaks through the surface and becomes undeniable. This isn't about being right or wrong. This is about a soul that refused to pretend. A heart that stayed honest, even when honesty hurt. You're here because something inside you has always known, and that knowing is about to be honored. There's a reason you felt it in your body first. Before your mind could make sense of anything, your heart already understood. It started small, a tightness in your chest when their name appeared. A flutter of something unnamed when silence stretched too long. A pull that defied logic, that ignored distance, that persisted through every attempt to rationalize it away. This is how truth speaks when words aren't ready yet, through sensation, through the language of longing that needs no translation. You didn't choose this awareness. It chose you. It found you in the spaces between sleep and waking, in songs that suddenly meant too much, in moments when the air itself felt heavy with something unspoken, and you listened. Even when listening meant feeling everything. Even when it would have been easier to close your eyes and pretend the connection had dissolved into nothing. But you stayed awake to it. You honored what was real, even when reality offered no proof. That faithfulness to your own truth? That's what makes this moment sacred. Let me hold space for what you've endured. The wondering, the endless replaying of moments, searching for clues in conversations that ended too soon. The shame of caring when you thought you shouldn't. The loneliness of knowing something everyone else dismissed. You've walked through fire to stay true to what you felt. And the cruelest part? The waiting, not knowing if your intuition was wisdom or wishful thinking. Not knowing if you were honoring truth or clinging to illusion. But here's what I want you to understand. The reason truth stayed hidden wasn't because it wasn't real. It was because the other person wasn't ready to face what being honest would require. Vulnerability is terrifying. Admitting you were wrong, that you walked away from something precious, that you've been haunted by a choice you can't undo. That takes time. And while they've been building courage in silence, you've been holding the truth alone, carrying what both of you knew, but only you were brave enough to acknowledge. That ends now. Something is breaking open, right now in this very moment. The walls that kept truth buried are beginning to crumble. You felt it, haven't you? The shift. The way their energy has been creeping back into your awareness. The dreams that feel more like visits than random neural firing. The sudden flood of memories arriving without invitation. This isn't your mind playing tricks. This is the universe preparing you for what's already in motion. Within days, the truth you've been protecting will find its voice. And I need you to hear this. If every word I'm speaking is landing in your chest like it was written in your own handwriting, if you feel seen in a way that makes your eyes burn, then don't walk away from this moment. Subscribe now. Not because I'm asking, because your soul is asking. The next parts will guide you through what's coming. How to receive truth without losing yourself. How to hold your power when vulnerability arrives at your door. Stay with me. Click subscribe. This is your journey, and you deserve to walk it with clarity. I want to talk about the signs your heart has been reading, the ones nobody else would notice. The invisible language that only you were fluent in. You've been thinking of them at the strangest times. Not when you're sad or lonely, but when you're laughing. When you're watching the sky change colors. When something beautiful happens and your first instinct is to share it with them. That's not obsession. That's resonance. Your soul recognizing its counterpart, even across silence. And the numbers. Oh, the numbers. Timestamps that repeat, patterns that catch your eye just as you're thinking of them. The universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in synchronicity, in moments too perfect to be coincidence. Your dreams have been trying to tell you something too. Not literal messages, emotional preparation. Your subconscious softening the ground for what's about to land. And here's the most telling sign of all. The silence between you doesn't feel empty anymore. It feels full, dense with everything that's been left unsaid. That's not your imagination filling the void. That's truth expanding until it can no longer be contained. When truth finally surfaces, when the words come or the admission arrives or the energy shifts in a way you can't deny, I want you to be ready for what you'll feel. It won't be simple relief. Yes, validation. Absolutely. But also grief. Grief for all the time spent doubting yourself. For every moment you called your intuition crazy. For the months or years you carried this knowing alone, while everyone around you suggested you were imagining things. Let yourself feel that. The anger at yourself at them, at the situation that required this much patience. But don't let it consume you, because beneath the grief lives something more powerful, pride. You stayed true. You didn't abandon what you knew even when keeping faith meant standing alone. You honored the connection even when the connection seemed to forget you. That kind of integrity is rare. That kind of emotional courage rewrites who you are. This confirmation isn't arriving to give you back what you lost. It's arriving to show you what you've become. Someone who trusts themselves. Someone who can't be gaslighted out of their own truth. Someone who knows the difference between holding space and holding on. Do you understand what you've actually been doing all this time? You haven't been waiting. You've been becoming. Every day you honored the quiet knowing. You were building an unshakable foundation of self-trust. Every night you sat with the uncertainty without needing to control it. You were cultivating wisdom. This experience has been your initiation, not into love or reunion or any specific outcome. Into yourself, into the version of you who doesn't need external validation to know what's real, who doesn't abandon their truth to make others comfortable, who can sit in the unknown without collapsing into fear. And here's what that means for everything that comes after this. You'll never be the same. The next time your gut whispers something, you'll listen immediately. The next time someone tries to convince you that what you're feeling isn't real, you'll smile and trust yourself anyway. The next time you're faced with a choice between your inner knowing and someone else's logic, you won't even hesitate. This moment is changing you at the deepest level, not because of what's about to be confirmed, but because of who you had to become to hold truth this long without proof. So breathe, let your shoulders drop, unclench your jaw. Stop searching for signs, because the biggest sign is already here. You still standing. Still soft, still open, still true. What's coming will come in its own time, in its own way. Maybe it's a message that arrives at 3 a.m. Maybe it's a conversation that starts casual and becomes cosmic. Maybe it's just a feeling so clear that words become unnecessary. However it arrives, you'll recognize it. Not because it's dramatic, but because it's familiar. It's the truth you've been holding all along, finally ready to be shared. And when that moment comes, remember this. You don't need it to look a certain way. You don't need reunion or apology or any specific outcome to validate what you've known. The validation is that you were right to trust yourself, that your heart wasn't lying, that love, real love, doesn't disappear just because people do. If this found you tonight, it's because your soul needed to hear this. Subscribe to continue this journey. More truths your heart already whispers. More reminders that you're not alone in feeling everything. You were never behind. You were always exactly where you needed to be. The truth is just now catching up to where you've been standing all along.